New tonight at 11, the rising cost of COVID, how the pandemic is severely impacting local hospitals.
And license suspended to why Henderson Mortuary now has been penalized by the state.
Plus, a homecoming worthy of a champion, how the community got to celebrate with Kurt Busch ahead of the South Point 400. 13 Action News live at 11 starts right now.
Now, 13 Action News at 11, on air and streaming live.
And new tonight, $2 billion in 2 months. The cost of COVID-19 is being felt with great impact at local hospitals. A recent surge in cases has sent out more people filling hospital beds. Well, thanks for joining us here for 13 Action News live at 11. I'm Ty Quinones.
And I'm Trisha Keene. 13 Action News reporter John Dommel joins us live from Dignity Health's Sahara campus with the startling numbers from a new report and how this could impact all of our medical bills in the future. John.
Well, Tricia and Todd, hospitals are seeing a financial strain right now, but I found out that we may not see the consequences of that, at least not for a little while.
As providers, we need reimbursement to be able to provide care teams and equipment to combat this.
A study from the Kaiser Family Foundation says that nationally, unvaccinated COVID patients cost hospitals $1.5 billion just in the month of July.
Between the vaccinated and unvaccinated, we do see those that are vaccinated in breakthrough cases, them responding to treatment faster and having shorter stays, which lowers the cost.
Brian Clevin is the chief financial officer for the Nevada market of Dignity Health. And he says just in his group of hospitals, more than 80% of its COVID patients are unvaccinated. And treating COVID can cost around $20,000 a patient, with costs potentially soaring above that figure for longer stays.
That's due to, whether it's pharmaceutical drugs to treat the virus, such as remdesivir. Also, we have additional staffing to deal with it. And the additional personal protective equipment that's needed to treat the population.
How hospitals plan to recover those losses is still being figured out. But Clevin did suggest that health insurance rates may increase.
You would think that COVID would just crush the system. It'd almost be like, or an insurance company having to deal with all these Katrinas all over the world and they have to pay out all these claims. That's not the case.
Phil Randazzo owns a local health insurance company, Nevada Benefits. He says that for as high of a cost to hospitals as COVID has been, it's nothing compared to what insurers have been covering for years at this point.
But what's a really big number is when you look at the CDC and what heart disease and stroke cost the healthcare system, and that's $214 billion a year. Then you look at diabetes, and that's over $200 billion a year. So chronic disease is really what's costing this healthcare system and causing, the insurance companies to have to raise rates.
Dignity Health says if more people were vaccinated, it would prevent most of these long hospital visits.
Seek getting the vaccine that is still effective, even against the Delta variant. It can help save your life or someone you love.
Now, health insurance rates are expected to increase next year by the standard 10%. Reporting live in Las Vegas, John Dommel, 13 Action News.
Well, new tonight, the state suspending the license of a Henderson mortuary after a slew of problems. Now, according to a report, bodies were found stacked on top of each other. There were unrefrigerated bodies and poor record keeping at the Heights Funeral Home and Crematory on West Sunset Road. And these are some of the pictures in the report. The mortuary was criticized during a hearing today with the Nevada Funeral and Cemetery Services Board. It voted 6-1 to suspend the license for the next 6 months.